Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Rob's Discovery. Shall we have the theme tune this time? Okay.
On a hill
near a wood,
where nobody goes,
up a track,
through a gate,
The food forest grows
with secrets and treasures for everyone's pleasure, and Rob's Discovery.
Hello again. I've just finished a hard day's work gardening, helping other people make their gardens look beautiful. But now it is time to work on my own forest garden. It's been a really long, wet winter time, and this is the first day where it's been warm and sunny. It's mid-April and things are really bursting back to life now. The air is infused with that divine, sweet blossom scent from all the flowers on the trees on the plot. There's quite a lot of frog spawn in the pond, and there are already a little army of froglets. It'll be next year's slug patrol. Hopefully, this year's frogs are already helping me with my slug problem. And being April, it's the main month for planting seeds. Most of the edible delights in this forest garden plot are perennial, but there are some fruits and vegetables that there just aren't perennial equivalents of. So I like to keep my finger in the planting pie, and there's another reason as well I like to plant annuals, but I'll come on to that next time. I really thought I was ahead of the game this year, and I had all my seeds in the greenhouse in March, but in one night mice came and decimated everything, so I had to order my seeds and start again. But this time I was extra cunning. I took two precautions. One is that I bought a solar powered ultrasonic mouse repeller, which did actually work. It drove all the mice out of the greenhouse and straight into my caravan, but that's another story. And the other precaution is that I bought 14 plastic storage containers, those sort of white storage boxes, quite cheaply. I can use them again year after year, so it's all right. And I drilled holes in the top for ventilation, and I half filled them with some delicious rich compost and put my seeds in those. So I've got myself some mouse-proof cheap seed propagators. And let's go and check on things in the greenhouse. Whew. It's extremely hot in here. It's 32 degrees centigrade at the moment, and looking at that maximum needle, it was over 50 today. And very, very foolishly, I did not take the lids off my storage boxes this morning before I went to work, and the seedlings will not like that. Let's have a look at these broad beans. They were beautifully green this morning, and now they are beautifully black and shriveled. That's a mistake. That's quite disappointing. Let's check on some of the others. Oh, the leeks are looking all right. Desperate for some air. The pumpkins are a little withered, again disappointing. The peas look quite happy, as do the beetroot. They're looking good. The melons. The melons are fine. Of course they would be. They're melons. I don't know if broccoli likes to be heated to over 50 degrees centigrade. It seems not. The broccoli also looks a bit withery. The courgettes look good. Look at these courgettes. That's a fine example of how this should have gone and how they were all looking this morning. Most disappointing. I took pity on my poor wilted seedlings and decided to plant them out immediately. It was a neat little coincidence that according to my lunar and biodynamic gardening calendar, it was a suitable day for planting out leafy annuals, which is exactly the category my poor burned broccoli and boiled broad beans fall into. I don't hold out much hope for these poor scorched little seedlings, but I'll put them in anyway and give them a go. Back at the beginning of the winter time, I mulched all my vegetable beds with straw. Straw is one of the very best mulches you can use for your vegetable beds. Not only does it add to the nutrients and the texture of the soil as it decomposes, but it also suppresses all the weed growth, so when you come to plant your seedlings in the spring, all you have to do is move the straw to one side and you're left with perfect weed-free soil ready to plant in. Since learning about forest gardening and how plants thrive in a polyculture, as opposed to the more commonly used monoculture method of planting, I've become a great advocate of companion planting. Companion planting is all about creating plant communities which create mutual benefits for each other. For example, I've planted strawberries and rhubarb together, as rhubarb has much deeper roots than the strawberry plants, so they aren't competing for the same nutrients. Some plants just don't get on as neighbours at all. Beans and broccoli, for example, the two that I'm just about to plant together. Beans tend to fix nitrogen in the soil, making it too rich for the sensitive broccoli. I'm not doing it as an experiment, I simply read my companion planting chart incorrectly, though it will make an interesting experiment. Having said that I'm only dealing with annual vegetables at the moment, I'm treating these broad beans as a replant perennial, and come the autumn time I'll dig up the root ball once the foliage has died back and store them out of the way of the frost in my root cellar, and then replant them next spring. These are officially non-dig beds, but you may have to just ease out the occasional well-established weed. Once you've planted your seedlings, you can place the straw back on the bed and arrange it around the little ones for protection, whilst it continues to decompose. Or, if you've had to plant them close together, then do as I'm doing in this case and arrange it around the perimeter of the bed. That's for good measure. Excellent. That'll do. Although, this is going to require a bird scarer. As I've learned to my detriment, birds love to pull out the little seedlings, so I'm going to have to go and borrow one from the spinach over here. There, that ought to do. I need to make some more bird scarers really, I've only got two. I shall show you how to make your own bird scarer in an upcoming video, just made from a plastic bottle. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon.